Welcome back to my channel. We've got something a little bit different today. Well, I mean, different to the content I've been doing recently, but actually pretty much the same as the content that I used to do before I switched over to streaming and then started uploading stuff from stream. So today what we've got is a speed build, which I haven't done a speed build for like 4 years, possibly even more. But I do like to play a lot of The Sims 3 on stream. I do Sims Sundays, and this is a pretty old clip of me building a holiday home in China when I was doing my World Adventures playthrough. I just thought, seeing as I've got it, I may as well make a speed build out of it. The reason that I've filmed myself doing the voiceover is because obviously when I streamed it, I did have my camera in the corner and I'm kind of just speeding around. I'm actually really quite close to the edge of the box. I don't know, I must have been leaning forward. I must have been concentrating really hard on this build. Not really sure why, but you know. So yeah, I've decided I'll do a voiceover for it. So at the moment you can just see me doing the foundation. I don't know why the sim wouldn't go up these stairs. I don't know what the problem was. I really wanted to make it cool and edgy, and I wanted to have like it be kind of like on a hill and have stairs leading up to it, but he wasn't having it the way I wanted him to have it. So I had to keep changing it around. Sorry for me sniffling intermittently. I've got a little bit, I didn't really think I had a cold, but I do seem to keep sniffling and I want to blow my nose, but I've got makeup on and then makeup gets all over the tissue and then it wipes off and my nose is really red underneath. You can't see it right now because like I said, I've got makeup on and you can't usually see it on stream either because my lights are so bright and they drown it all out and make me look really nice and pearly white and clear. But my face is really red in real life. I don't really know why. It just kind of is. But, you know, whatever. I don't really know an awful lot what to say. I don't really ever do voiceovers for YouTube videos anymore. Mainly because I'm so awkward and I never really know what to say. It's kind of different with streaming. I feel like it's different when you know that you're actually talking to someone, when you know that someone's actually there, as opposed to YouTube, where you're kind of just talking to the camera, and you don't really know if anyone's listening. But anyway, you'll see I keep like panning to the distance, and I think I do a few times actually exit. I don't know if I cut it. I might have cut it out. I know you can see me doing it here. I exit build by mode and I kept looking around at the other houses because I wanted my house to fit in. I wanted it to feel like it was meant to be there, that perhaps it had been there this whole time and then my Sims had just bought it rather than I'd built it for them. I wanted the colour scheme to be somewhat similar to the buildings around it. And obviously I wanted the style to match. I wanted it to be like a traditional Chinese house. Not that I've ever been to China that I know what a Chinese house looks like, but in terms of, you know, what the Sims team built in China here. Right, I'm actually quite ashamed to say that I've actually just had to walk off to have a wee in the middle of this voiceover, even though the video is literally only like 15 minutes long at most. I don't know why my bladder's so weak, but anyway. Yeah, so now you can see me trying to match the color scheme of the other houses. it was quite annoying. I kept flicking back and forth between all the different ones. I thought that because I had my settings on maximum that I could just zoom out and be able to see them all, but no. I don't know if you saw me doing it. Okay, yeah, I'm actually doing it now. So I actually went into build by on other houses just so that I could see exactly like the hex codes of the colors they were using and use the exact same like swatches of wallpapers and everything. Not necessarily of just one house. I wanted it to be a mix of all like different houses. Although I do like the color scheme of this house, but I don't think I ended up going with a green roof. I actually can't even remember. I made this building so long ago. But I spent more time than I thought looking at other houses and making sure that my color schemes are the same as theirs. And then apparently struggling to find what wallpaper they were even using once I got back to mine. I think originally when I first started playing World Adventures, when I first got it, I would have been like 13 to be fair. But I decided I was going to make a Chinese house and I think I made it in like Sunset Valley, perhaps Twin Brooks. Like it was not the appropriate location. And I made this massive, I had just discovered what terrain tools were. And I made this massive house and it was like bright yellow. And I'm not really sure why. And I think the roof was black. Although I get the feeling I also used all the red like fences, all the gold posts, just because, I don't know, in my head red was Chinese, red meant China, I don't know, kind of weird. I decided I didn't like it anymore, and that's why I tried to go with all the brown aesthetic. Usually I match everything when I'm building a house in The Sims. I try and stop doing it. That's why I kind of prefer building in The Sims 4 now, because there's swatches that force you to pick things that match rather than things that are exactly the same. But yeah, I have a bit of a problem in The Sims 3. I think I still do it, even though I try not to. But I definitely used to match like exactly all the bits of wood that you would see in a room. They all had to be exactly the same design, exactly the same color. Like I would copy the hex codes over. If there was like a duvet set in a room, then the pillows on the chairs had to be the exact same color, exact same design. And I have tried to stop doing that, but I do appreciate that when they give us furniture in packs, they do usually have all the same swatches as each other anyway. So I kind of just used everything in this swatch and tried not to change anything too much. I don't know why, but I keep having to pause the recording, so I keep getting breathless. I'm not really sure what that's about. I'm probably just nervous because I'm not filmed with a voiceover in ages, or that's a little bit weird because I'm just sitting in my room talking to a camera. But anyway, you can see here, I actually really wanted to use all the trees. I wanted to use every tree that had come with the pack and was clearly meant to be in China. Unfortunately, the lot just wasn't big enough. I perhaps should have picked a bigger lot to build this little house on. But my Sims that I had at the time, you do kind of keep seeing them. You saw Billy in the beginning. Like I say, I was playing through World Adventures. I do this thing on my stream where I play through one pack at a time. I just like disable all the others. I started off with base game, which was a little bit boring. Kind of just was a regular playthrough of The Sims, and then I've gone through all the packs. Only expansion packs, because obviously I suppose playing with just a stuff pack would be a little bit dry. But I've gone through all the packs in order that they came out. Obviously, World Adventures was the first one. So these were the first builds that I did. And decided that I was going to have one Sim. She was going to do all the adventuring, because even though I'd been playing The Sims for 10 years, I still hadn't ever done all of World Adventures. I had never completed the whole thing. I'd always gotten stuck somewhere around Chomps The Sims, somewhere around Chateau de Langrab. I think that's what it's called. And never completed it. So I decided this was the time. So I was going to collect absolutely everything, all the relics. I was going to do it. And I decided, you know what? I may as well make a holiday home in every single location. So Egypt and France are coming. I've already done them. She's do the voiceover like this literally. I mean, you can't see it, but in the little corner of my camera, I can see that I'm in my room from last year, and it's literally already 3 months into, well, I lived there 6 months ago, so you know. Okay, so now you can kind of see me putting in the doors and the windows. I had to stop the recording again. I don't know why I'm out of breath. I don't know what's happening to me. But you know, we'll probably get to the interior soon. I don't know why I'm spending so long on the door, actually. I don't know what it was about the door I didn't like. I couldn't get them all exactly where I wanted them. I kind of had this outdoor little porch thing, which wasn't intended when I first built the house. You could kind of see in the beginning that I was trying to make the house itself be less square, but it wasn't working out because I was thinking that I was going to hate having to roof it, because these roofs, I mean, you can see like I tried to roof the upper part, kind of where that balcony is now, balcony I guess, or terrace, but it didn't work, so I just flat roofed it and put a fence around it. Because I mean, roofing in The Sims 3 is a nightmare anyway, but especially with the pagoda roofs, it's just not worth the hassle. It's really not. I probably spent way too much time on it just to put a fence around it anyway. But it was not fun. It really was not fun. So that's why I've got this little porch thing at the front, which I don't actually remember what I do with it. I think I just stick a little pond ornament on it, which I'm probably never going to use. Anyway, back to The Sims. So we have my adventurer woman, and I had a bit of a storyline going. Originally, she didn't really have any relationship. She kind of just was really good friends with everyone who she had to be for the adventures, who you have to talk to. And then eventually, I can't remember where he came from. I think she lived in Riverview, so it's called, the Freetown. Because I had obviously just played in Sunset Valley, and even though I wasn't going to spend very much time there, I decided I wanted to live somewhere different because I had just done a full playthrough in Sunset Valley. It was not a very good choice in hindsight, because I was trying to complete everything in this pack, which included the photography skill. And a lot of the places that you have to capture pictures of in the photography compendium, I guess, like the list of pictures you have to take, you couldn't do at Riverview. There was no beach for some reason. There just was no beach lot. I suppose there's kind of a river flowing through it rather than a beach, but that was quite irritating. There were other pictures that I couldn't work out how to take either, kind of like where they had combined two buildings into one. You couldn't take a picture of one rabbit hole because it would just keep coming up with the other one. which I guess is something I never fixed. But you know, it's kind of a shame that like only playing one pack at a time, I didn't fully get to experience all of photography because in other packs they add more categories to the photography skill. It's really one of those skills where it really improves on it with each pack, which is great. You can see me trying to make a basement here. I had kind of clocked that even though I only had 2 Sims at the time, and they were together, they did share a bed. Like I didn't even finish my story, but Billy was the Sim basically who my Sim ended up with from home. I can't remember how she met him. Probably just rocked up at his house looking for a partner. But yeah, I had realised that this space was very much not big enough. I couldn't afford to waste 4 squares on stairs. Well, not in a straight line anyway, because obviously they were blocking those 3 blocks back there, which it turned out I actually needed for the bathroom, which ends up being quite tiny. But it does work. You know, it's all the space that they need. It's not like I ever actually came back to China, I'm pretty sure, after I built this house, because I don't know if you can see, probably can in the corner, how much money I have. That's from selling all the relics that I didn't need anymore, and probably doing some transfiguration, selling some plutonium. I was pretty much done in China by this point. I think I had been putting off building the holiday home because, like I said, I don't really like building in The Sims 3 compared to The Sims 4. I feel like I used to like building in The Sims 3, but once you've built in The Sims 4, it's just hard. It's just hard work. It's just a nightmare. So I have been avoiding it like religiously, but it's okay because I did get round to it, and it actually didn't even end up taking me that long. Once I had sorted the roof out, it was fine. Although you can see here, I think she is with Billy, my Sim, but obviously I've just placed this double bed in the corner, and I don't know why. I'm sure at some point in time my Sims were able to scooch over from one side of a double bed to the other one, and 2 Sims were able to get in a bed that was against the wall like that. I can't remember if it was The Sims 3 or The Sims 4, but I've never been able to replicate it like ever. But I'm sure I've seen it happen. I don't know if maybe it was actually just a YouTube video and it was a mod and I'm convinced that it was me, or if it was a dream. I don't know. But yeah, sadly, both my Sims can't actually use this bed. This is very much a single person lot. But I do think it's still a really nice little holiday home. It doesn't actually cost that much, so you probably could buy it within the first few trips to China, and especially because one of the Chinese adventures takes you to France, so it's not like you're doing them all at once. I feel like it's a nice little holiday place just if you don't want to keep going to the annoying base camp, which I really hate because all the NPCs always break all the showers, they break all the toilets, no one fixes anything, and then you just can't use anything. There's rubbish everywhere. They always turn the radios on. It's just, it's horrible. I hate it in the base camp. But I think I'm almost done now. I decided I was going to split up these 2 rooms. I personally hate open plan. I also think, though, the reason I did that was probably just because I wanted to use that archway. I really just wanted to use everything that was in the pack. You can see all this furniture doesn't really fit. I don't really need a dining table, but I wanted to use all the stuff that was in the pack, and I was like, it's happening. I'm having a dining table. Bonsai tree, I need it. It's going in, even though there is very much no space for it. But I think I made it work. Like I say, they didn't actually live here for very long before they ended up going back to Riverview and probably never coming to China again. I think the only reason I was probably here this time was A, to make the house, but B, I think I was missing one vase from the Chinese vases collection, or it might have been, actually what I was missing for ages. I couldn't get the Dragon Cave to work, the adventure where you have to go to France and then come back. It glitched out, and I'm fairly sure it's because of some of my mods that I only actually have to reduce lag. But I think one of them broke it, which is really sad. So I ended up just having to cheat my way through the tomb by just placing a regular door instead of the hidden door, which is quite sad. But it's okay. Yeah, you can see me dumping down these fountains now, which really serve no purpose. But, I wanted to use everything. So that was the end of that. I didn't actually think about how long it was going to take my Sims to get up here. It might be a little bit impractical. You might want to place it on a different lot if you were to download this. But like I said, I think it's better than Basecamp, and it takes long to get anywhere in China anyway. So it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Right, I've just realised that I actually haven't taken the screenshots of this house yet, so I'm actually going to have to go away and do that so that I can add at the end of this video. But I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you did. This isn't the usual kind of content that I do, but seeing as I just have these recordings here, I thought I may as well do a voiceover and just chuck them on YouTube anyway. because I do quite like these builds and I enjoyed doing them. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.